Hey everyone, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got another start and sit video. This is going to be our week 4 for the wide receiver position. Again, this is going to be based off of PPR, so that might make some adjustments and changes for you if you are in a standard league. Of course, if you do have a standard league and you have questions about who you should start, please feel free to hit us up in the comments down below, or of course DM us in Twitter, Instagram, whatever's easier for you guys. That way we can help answer those questions for you. If you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. That way you guys are notified every single time we drop a video just like this to help you out with your fantasy football season. So we're going to kind of get into this. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time really kind of wasting it about trying to subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. We're here to help you with your fantasy team. All right. So these are going to be your obvious players here as far as wide receivers. And we have a lot more receivers as far as obvious starts. Look, wide receiver is the deepest position in the fantasy world. You're going to have a lot of options that can really help you out with this season. These are going to be the guys that I believe will be some good options that you should be starting this week to really help you out with week 4. Okay. Again, no in-depth detail on these guys. These are just guys that are going to perform in and out as far as their matchups go for this week. Now, as far as a good start option that I didn't put as an obvious, I have Corey Davis as my first start wide receiver. They're going against the Titans, who are allowing 226 yards to the wide receiver group, which is 30th in the NFL. They're also allowing 50.1 points to wide receivers, which is 30th in the NFL as well. So they're allowing a lot. Okay. And part of that has to do with Titans have been up in some games, so the teams are passing a lot more. Also, I think that defensively, they're built a little bit more towards the run. They do try to control the game with Derrick Henry, but that isn't always the case. Now, this weekend's going to be very interesting. They may not have A.J. Brown. They may not have Julio Jones. So this is going to be a little different offense. I think it's going to be more run heavy. But if they don't perform well, this might give opportunity to the Jets. Might help Michael Carter, things like that. But I do like Corey Davis a lot this week. Next guy I have as far as a good start for you this week is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. He's going against the Vikings. They're allowing 209 yards to the wide receiver group, 27th in the NFL. They're also allowing 47.2 points to the wide receivers, which is 29th in the NFL. OBJ looked really good last week. He put up 13 points, his first game back since his injury. They are still without Jarvis Landry. So really, he's the big guy. Him and Hunt. Hunt looked really good as well. So I like him as well. But Odell's got a good really matchup. This is going to be, again, one of those type of shootouts where I think there's going to be more passing than usual. I do think the running backs take advantage of a lot of this game. And if they are up, obviously it will help Nick Chubb, but I think this is going to be geared more towards Kareem Hunt than it would be, say, Chubb in this case. But I do like Odell. I think he's got good options. He is, again, one of the few weapons that he does have on the outside for Baker, so I like Odell a lot. And the last guy I have is a good start, and part of it is based off of what happened last week, but also some things that have happened based off of last week. So Jacoby Myers I have as a good start. One, you're going against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are allowing the 241 yards to the wide receivers, which is 31st in the NFL, and they're allowing the worst amount of points to the wide receiver position at 58.9 points. So they're decimated, and part of that is they signed Sherman this past week. They really need to bolster that secondary. Their secondary is the weakest part of that defense, and their defense is usually pretty good, but not in pass defense. They weren't great in pass defense last year. They're really exposed this year. So I like Jacoby Myers. I'm not expecting a crazy game out of him. I do expect a little over 100 yards. Why I have him as a good start also is the fact that James White is out for the season due to his hip. There will be a good option as far as a backup like Bolden coming in and filling out for him as far as the running back goes. But I like Jacoby Myers. He's got a good matchup for him this week. Now, as far as some sits go, the first guy I have is Henry Ruggs. Now, Henry Ruggs is going against the Chargers. The Chargers are allowing the second fewest yards at 112 yards a game. They're also allowing 27.3 points as a wide receiver group, which is 5th in the NFL. This is a tough matchup for the Raiders. Now, I do think Derek Carr will do well. Part of the fact is that they do allow a lot to the tight end position like Waller, but the wide receiver spot, they actually do really well. If you look at the Chargers, against like say Amari Cooper, they actually held him pretty well. It was more of a running game that a lot of that, and that, this is going to be something like that as well. I think, a Jacobs, a Barber, I think will take advantage of this Chargers defense more so than the passing game. So I don't like Ruggs. Another guy I have as a sit who did really well last week is I have Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool put up 18 points last week with obviously Deontay Johnson out. Deontay Johnson may be back this week. We'll keep you updated on that. They're going against the Packers, though. The Packers are allowing 116 yards to the wide receivers, which is 4th in the NFL, and they're allowing 28.9 points, which is 7th in the NFL. Packers have a good defense. On top of that, if Chase Claypool is the wide receiver and Deontay Johnson does not start, Jair Alexander is a good shutdown corner. He'll be covering Chase Claypool, and Ben Roethlisberger does not look good at all. I had him as one of my sits for this week. I don't like the Steelers' offense. I don't think it's going to get any better. I do like Najee Harris. I think he'll be doing a very good job as PPR. He's going to be one of those backs who's going to get from 8 to 12 catches just based off of the fact that they're probably going to play behind, okay? Now, the last guy I have is a good sit. It's going to be Marquis Brown. Now, Hollywood Brown, unfortunately, had some drops that would have turned around his game last week, but they are going against the Broncos. The Broncos are allowing 150 yards to the wide receiver, which is 9th in the NFL. They're also allowing 32 points, which is 10th in the NFL. So not only did he have some drops, the Butterfingers showed up, but the Broncos actually have a really good defense. And I don't believe it was based off the fact that they played horrible teams. I get that they're 3-0 and the teams they played against are 0-9 as a group. But I do legit believe in the Broncos defense. You've got some great secondary, okay? You've got some great pass rush from Von Miller. I like what they're doing overall, and I think that's going to really reflect on this game. I do not like Marquis Brown. Now, as far as some good sleepers go, the first guy I have as a good sleeper is Tyler Boyd. With the fact that Higgins is going to be out again, Tyler Boyd really shined last week. They are going against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is allowing 218 yards to the wide receiver, which is 29th in the NFL, and they're allowing 40.6 points to the wide receiver, which is 21st. So this is a good matchup for Tyler Boyd. Now, it could be one of those games where maybe they're ahead, maybe they're crushing it. Maybe it's going to be more of a mix and running game, but I do think that Tyler Boyd will take advantage of that. And the last guy, it's kind of a surprise. I know a lot of people are going to be shocked by this one. I have Allen Robinson as a good sleeper. Part of that is the fact that him against the Lions, I think he's always done really well. I think Andy Dalton's going to be the starter. They have not announced it yet. I think with his injury, he may play, may not play. We'll see. I know that Matt Nagy said, hey, look, it can be either one of the quarterbacks, whoever's healthy. If it is Andy Dalton being healthy, it will be Andy Dalton. And I think Andy Dalton will have a better play with Allen Robinson than I would say Fields. I think Justin Fields, unfortunately, should not be playing yet, especially with how that play calling is for Matt Nagy, unfortunately. But the Lions are giving up 21st most yards to the wide receiver, and they're giving up 34.6 points, which is 11th. So it's a little bit tough there. But I do expect this is going to be a little bit more of a shootout. I do think the Bears turn it around. I do like Allen Robinson. I think this is going to be Allen Robinson's way of kind of turning around the season. If you have not gone after him, he might be a good buy low player because I think a lot of people are frustrated and not really sure what to do with him. But I think you can get away with getting him for a pretty cheap price and might actually turn it around and get you some, maybe a good steal, maybe a good wide receiver to a flex option. All right, so those are your week 4 start sits for the wide receiver. Again, this is from PPR. If you're a standard, just make sure you ask us in the comments if you're unsure of who to start. Again, if you guys did appreciate what we brought you, hope this stuff is very informative and it helps you out with some of those picks. Make sure you hit that like button. It is greatly appreciated. We're going for a goal of 10 likes this video and try to obviously grow that. If you are new and you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time we drop a video just like this. And get prepared. We'll have one more video for you guys for the start sit, which would be the tight end. And I'm actually going to drop a new video. I know it's going to be a little weird, but I have a new video that's going to be coming out starting. It should be coming out Friday or Saturday. I'm actually really excited for that one. I think it would be really good for a lot of people, especially for people who are kind of still newer to the fantasy world, and hopefully helps you out. So, again, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys like this information. Hope this helped you guys out, and I'll check you guys next time.